Talking about pay is somehow still a taboo. Well, it's time to change that. So today I'm on Microsoft campus to ask people some spicy questions like how much money they make and practical tips on how to get hired. Let's do it.
Thank you for taking the time. Let's start with the very first question, which is like, what do you do at Microsoft?
So I'm a software engineer on the cloud security. So my team makes sure that all the Azure containers, the millions of machines, aren't vulnerable to threats from like malicious software.
I was in Azure security too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And how long have you been here at Microsoft?
So I've only been here since January of this year, so about 6 months.
So did you come here from another company or did you get hired like straight out of college?
So I was working at Amazon before this, and before that I was working at a small company.
I was curious, like how did you switch from Amazon?
So actually a recruiter reached out to me a long time ago while I was still working at Amazon. I wasn't ready to switch jobs just yet, but when it came to be time, I just reached back out to them and they were able to help me start the interview process.
Would you be willing to share your total compensation? What's the breakdown of base and stock bonus as well?
Sure. Yeah, so I was lucky that I was able to negotiate my starting bonus because the way compensation at Amazon works is that the RSUs, the first 2 years only vest 15%.
That's what I heard, yeah.
So I was able to say, hey, I'm going to lose a lot of money if I switch companies. Can we please help me offset this?
Yeah.
So I was able to negotiate my starting bonus to $40,000.
Okay, yeah.
And my base salary, I believe, is $155,000.
Okay. For level 61, right? Which is like software engineer 2 at Microsoft. Thank you so much for sharing that. Do you have any career advice for people who aspire to make it to Microsoft?
I would say that if you want to get better in your career, there's two options. There's grow in your own company, and you can ask your manager for help and see how far they can support you. But you shouldn't feel bad about switching companies to something that's going to benefit you in the long term if you've given it thought and you've decided it's the right thing for you.
You mentioned you were an intern here.
Yeah, I'm an intern.
And you started a month ago?
Yeah, I started a month ago, May 22nd, if I remember correctly.
And then what team do you intern at the
I'm
moment?
interning on software-defined network. So it's a team that really does a lot of networking for Microsoft.
How's your experience so far as an intern?
It's my second time here at Microsoft. So I was an intern last year and I'm an intern this year, and it has been a positive experience. My team is great. I love my team right now. It's very social, you have young people there and I'm able to relate to them. Yeah. And I'm also, able to access the senior leadership on my team, which is also positive. Yeah. And I also enjoy my project because it was my first time working on networking, and it's a great experience for me. And I love the project that I'm working on. I can't say so many details about it, but definitely it's something that I'm enjoying doing.
Just curious, like how did you get the internship? Did you apply directly to Microsoft career website or did you network?
Absolutely. I didn't do any networking. So back in 2021, towards the end of 2021, I just knew that I wanted an internship. Yeah. So I Googled, internships, and I saw a list of companies there, full-time internships. And then I picked Microsoft. And then instead of applying from like some third-party app, I just went directly to the careers website of Microsoft. And then I just chose the internship application and I applied. I heard back and they're like, oh, you passed the first assessment, which was like basically like the resume screening. And then from there, I had a phone call with a recruiter. There I had 2 rounds of interviews, and then I was lucky to get in. So that was basically it. But in the background, of course, I was preparing, the lead code for anybody who's doing software engineering, they just know that. And also polishing my resume and also making sure that I have some project that I can talk about in my interview.
That's really impressive.
I have to say that maybe one thing that really helps is when you're applying directly through a website without any referral or any like connection with a recruiter, is like apply as early as you can, because you probably might know these applications go in high volumes. So you want to make sure at least you apply very early so that they get a chance to actually look at your resume before they start getting so many applicants.
This is a little bit personal, but you can answer if you feel comfortable. How much do you get paid for your internship? For I guess it's 12 weeks?
The estimate is around 3.5K.
A month?
No, every 2 weeks. Yeah.
Was there any signing bonus, or this is just base salaries, right?
Yeah. When you're a first-time intern, there's no bonus. When you return, you get a bonus and a pay bump. So if you're making like $3,500 last summer, you get a given pay bump, and then you also get a sign-on bonus.
That's cool. And how much is the signing bonus typically?
The sign-on bonus is usually around 5,000.
So do you have any advice for, other university student who want to land an internship at Microsoft?
Definitely, you gotta have your materials ready, so that your resume has to be really polished. I think you'd imagine that recruiters get like tons of resumes, and you want to make sure that there are no typos, everything is really perfect and easy to read, and also you gotta have substance to your resume. So it's not about your classes, but also like, do you have some projects that you've worked on that you can talk about? Every interviewer picks your resume and just look at it to just find something to talk about. And whenever there's a project, it's always a good conversation starter for the interviewer. So I'd say really focus on getting your documents ready. And then as for the interviews themselves, I think the success depends a lot on so many things. It could be that you're having a bad day, your interviewer is having a bad day, or even a good day. It could be like you get a question that I'd say be willing to just embrace the fact that you don't know everything and ask for questions, and even be willing to admit whenever you don't know anything and just say, hey, I have no clue here. Can you just give me some guidance?
That's great advice. Would you be willing to share what do you do at Microsoft?
I'm a software engineer at Microsoft. I work at Xbox.
Did you have gaming experience before?
I joined from my college. I was a graduate student at Virginia Tech, and after clearing the rounds, I joined Xbox, and since then I've been at Xbox.
I'm curious, as a Xbox employee, did you get any discount games or console?
I think they have some discounts. I don't know top of my mind. The same deal everyone gets.
I just know that there's a lot of swag.
Yeah.
You can answer this if you feel comfortable, but would you be willing to share how much you get compensated for this position as a senior software engineer?
I don't want to talk about compensation, but I'm happy with whatever I get.
Yeah, well, I can share mine. So my base was 160, and with stock bonus and cash bonus is another 40K. So it's around 200 per year as a PM2 level. It can vary a lot, even same level, same role. So that's why I think bringing more awareness to salary transparency is very important.
Definitely, yours number were quite competitive. So yes, it was good.
So for people who wanted to make it to Xbox, what experience or what kind of requirements do you think?
I think it's just like regular Microsoft interviews. You clear it and then you can work there. For whatever roles are posted, you give that interview, and then if you are cleared for that, then you can join. For me, because I joined as a entry level engineer, I did not have any such experience. So with time, I just learned new skills and went from there.
Thank you so much for taking the time. You are a software engineer. Very curious. How did you get into Microsoft?
I got through LinkedIn. So I have my LinkedIn profile updated, and when I was looking for jobs, I put all my recent works and stuff. And then one day, one of the Microsoft recruiters, they interviewed me and then got into the process, and eventually I got hired. But once I got hired, I referred my friends, and through referral they were able to get into.
If there's one word to describe your experience at Microsoft, what would be that word?
The culture is very amazing. People seems very friendly and very smart. Mm-hmm. And we have incredible facilities like soccer field, we have dance events, we have whole bunch of events and community here, so really enjoy.
Any crazy story that someone accidentally broke something? Could be in your team or could be in previous company that you worked with.
Previous company, I remember. So there's one person, he was accidentally deleted a lot of customer data. Ooh. So we have to recover all this gigabytes of data. It was very terrifying. He by accidentally ran a command and didn't realize there is a space in it. So instead of deleting one particular folder, he deleted the root folder. That person was super scared, and we were oh my God, what the heck is going on?
That is a crazy story for sure. This is, of course, if you feel comfortable. What's your total compensation, if you don't mind sharing that?
The best way to check salary level, the most authentic answer that you can get, there is a website, levels.fyi, and you can just put Microsoft SD2 or Microsoft Program Manager. So that would be the best way, because people would actually report their recent salaries. So mine might not be updated, but that will be the best one, levels.fyi. You just go there and put the whichever position you want to know about, and you get the salary.